You get a packet, and you get a packet, and you get a packet. You all get packets. Hi, I'm Willie with H5 Technology, and thank you for coming to my channel. Thank you for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. Don't think that I don't, because without you, this would not be possible. So thank you. Tonight, we're going to do a little bit of an overview of the Grandstream UCM PBX series. I'm going to show you the devices that I have. We're going to do just a brief overview of the interface, and this is going to set us up for when we start setting up the voice over IP phones and the network and all that good stuff. So we're kind of building into this. Before we get too far into it, my friend Clarence from Wisconsin has created 4 ringtones, which will be available on the H5 Technology website. Not this week, but probably next week. And we've got a couple other little goodies coming to the website that we're really excited about. So I will let everybody know when those ringtones are available, but I want to let you know they're coming. And thank you to Clarence if he sees this. So, the UCM. This is Grandstream's PBX appliance. And the series that we're going to concentrate on tonight are the UCM 6202, 6204, 6208, the 6510, and then they also have an HA100 appliance for high availability. Now, my daily driver is a 6202, this guy right here, and I also have a 6204, which I have in the box right here, and we'll open it up and I'll show you the unit and talk about a couple of things that I really like. Now, the difference between the 6202, which is my daily driver, and the 6204 is that there are 4 FXO ports on the 6204 versus just 2 on the 6202. Now, you may be asking yourself, Willie, what's an FXO port and what's an FXS port? Well, if I could say it, I'd tell you. So, the way that I remember this is that it is the type of device that you're connecting. Now, an FXO, so you have O on the end, stands for office, and or you can correlate that with office, so office as in central office for the telephone companies. So if I have an FXO port, an office port, it is going to connect to the telco, whether it's a copper line or you've got another ATA or whatever. FXS is station, which means anything inside your office, so a handset that you're, an analog handset that you're going to connect to the digital. So that's how I keep those two straight, and I think there are a lot of people that do that as well. Now, FXO actually stands for Foreign Exchange Office, FXO, and FXS actually stands for Foreign Exchange Subscriber. So it's the lingos, but a lot of people will use the the office or then the station, but S is actually a subscriber. So just kind of keep that in mind. We'll do another quick little overview here of the models, and then we will get to the interface. Now, I am shooting in full screen because this interface is absolutely beautiful. All right, so we are back to our comparison sheet here real quick. I really want to get one of these rack mount models. I am working with a few people who are deploying those. I don't have one yet. Right now I have like I said, the 6202 as my daily driver, and I have the 6204. So you can have 50 SIP trunks, 500 users, 30 concurrent calls on the 6202 versus 45 on the 6204. And as you look, I'll leave a link to this comparison sheet down in the description, and you can take a look at these specs yourself. You do get conference bridges, and you can see the numbers here. Back to the other difference with the FXO, the FXS ports. The other thing that I really like about this is, yes, there are 2 gigabit ports. Now, out of the box, this ships in WAN mode, right? So you've got a WAN port and a LAN port, and you can just plug the WAN into an internet connection. You don't have to have a network. So you can have a cable modem somewhere, and then LAN can be plugged into a switch, and you're just using this thing for phones. That's the default, and it just goes. Now, the LAN port, what I like about it, and I am actually running mine, you can power these appliances, the 6202 and the 6204, via PoE. And I think you might be able to do, like, I haven't touched the 6208 and the 6510, but I have a feeling that I don't know if you can or not. So if somebody's using those appliances, let us know if you can PoE those. You definitely can do PoE. But right here it says PoE plus, so I have to assume that you can. All right, so they all do layer 3, layer 2 QoS. They can all be a NAT router. Now, there are no clustering ports, so you can't do clusters with the 6202, 6204, 6208, but you can with the 6510. The 6202, 6204, 6208 all have 1 gig of RAM, 8 gig of flash. The 6510 has 1 gig of RAM, 32 gigs of flash. And you can see these guys are running similar processors until you get down to the end, and then that guy's got a quad core. There are no licensing fees ever with Grandstream, and they all support zero config, which is something that we're going to get into that you're really going to like. You can preset up all of your extensions, just start plugging in phones, and the phones configure themselves. It is a beautiful, beautiful thing. All right, so what I have here is I have my 6204. Now, the 6202 and the 6204 come in the same box. And the difference is really what's on the inside. So the appliance itself, for being a PoE and doing such a rocking job of being a phone system, is not that big. Oh man, I love that. This has never been out of the bubble wrap until right now, and man, it's got that new electronic smell. So this is what the front of the Grandstream looks like. You can see that over here for your FXO, your office, it says telco lines, and you've got 4321 there. You've got your phone fax here, so that'd be your station, your FXS ports. And then you have, of course, the LAN, WAN, USB, and SD indicators over there. This LED screen gives us some quick information about the system, IP address, and things like that, and whether the device is ready. Flip it over. On the back now, this is the business end. So you got USB, you got your SD card slot, you got your power in, your hard reset, LAN, WAN, you got FXS 1 and 2, and FXO 1 through 4. And then over here, you have a grounding lug. On the bottom, you can mount this guy right on the wall if you wanted to. There's a little fan in here to help keep it cool. I mean, this is a very compact package for what it does. It does have the vented slots all the way around. And this is the exact same size as the 6202, but on the 6202, we are minus 2 of those FXO ports. So I think some reliance on those in a smaller setup that's new. I don't think you're going to have that much reliance. Now, Grandstream also has appliances where we can walk into a hotel and they've got a system that's got an Amphenol connector on the back. And if you don't know what an Amphenol connector is, if you've ever been in a telephone room and you've seen the white 66 blocks, it's that plug that's on the side. Well, we can walk into a hotel that has whatever phones, just cheap generic phones, the little red light on them, and we can slap our Grandstream appliance in, hook the Amphenol connector up, and start serving on the back end, use our IP PBX to drive those hotel systems. In the box, we also have, of course, the GPL. I love that they do that. We've got a quick start guide. We've got a Grandstream voice over IP book that has all the other solutions in it, which is awesome. For me, this is like when I used to get the fireworks catalogs as a kid, and now it's things that are much more adulty, so to speak. And then you also get an Ethernet cable and the power adapter. So, like I said, I am powering mine over PoE, and I would expect or suspect that a lot of people would also, power their units over PoE. So let's hop over to my daily driver. So if you call the office here at 309-446-00IT or 309-446-0048, you are calling into a Grandstream system. So let's hop over here. This is the Office Lab system, and by default the username is admin. And we're not going to get into real detailed configuration here tonight. I just wanted to give you an overview and show you how beautiful this interface is. This interface, I have absolutely no problems presenting this interface to an end user. And not only can administrators log in here, but then if you have attendants or even the users can log in here, and we're going to get to all of that. This is just kind of a quick overview. So on our system status dashboard, the built-in memory, it shows us the configuration partition and how much space we are using, and the inodes are there. The data partition, it tells us how much we're using. System resources, memory, CPU. Now, if we had a USB drive or an SD card in, because you can record every incoming phone call, you can put your music on hold music, custom prompts, you can put all of that on a USB drive. You can export all of your configuration and everything automatically to USB. If we had something plugged in, you would see these lit up, and then they would also be lit up down here. So under our interface status, you see there's nothing plugged into USB, there's nothing in the SD card, but when we hover over LAN, you can see the LAN port is connected, and you can see the PoE supply is working. Now, we can also do high availability or failover with the smaller units. So we will get into that at some point. The heartbeat here is not configured, and you can see our FXS and our FXO ports. Nothing is plugged in there. Over here under trunks, you can see we've got two of the SIP.US trunks, and that is who I get my service through. Over here under PBX status gives us the time and date, active calls. I have 10 extensions configured, of which 3 are online and ready to take calls. I have 1 conference room set up. There is nobody in the call queue. I have 20 parking lots set up. And then down here is a lot of your WAN-based security. And I don't have, this is not facing the WAN, so I don't have any of that set up right now. I don't have regular backups going. We're going to get into all of these things in the configuration. So the configuration videos are going to come a little bit later, but I just want to impress upon you how nice, how clean, how easy this interface is. And for an appliance like this, you can come right out of the box with it. And if we go over here to the 6202, can be had for about $253 or about a week's worth of Starbucks coffee. You can have yourself this box. You don't have to compile anything. You don't have to, configure any software. Everything is self-contained in this box, delivered to your door. It's in my Amazon shop down there. So you can get it by clicking the link down there. And let's just go over a few of the highlights of this interface. So of course we have our dashboard. We have our system information, which gives us our make, model, serial number, how long it's been up. It gives us all of the firmware information. This tab gives us our network information. Then we can see all of the active calls, if there are any calls. So if you had an operator level, they could be logged into this. They can hang up calls and see all of the call information. And then we have our network status information here. This can be useful for troubleshooting. Over here are all of our extensions and our trunks, so we can see all of the extensions that I have here. And these 3 are online, and you do see their system supports follow me. There are also email notifications. So if you call me and I'm not here and you leave me a voicemail, the voicemail does get delivered to my email. You can go in, and in a later video, we're going to get through all the configuration on this stuff. We've got extension groups, analog trunks. We've got our voice over IP trunks, the SLA station, outbound routes, inbound routes. So all of these things that you're familiar with, it's here. All our call features, your conference bridge, IVR. If you call me, you will get an IVR. The voicemail, ring groups, paging and intercom, call queue, pickup groups, dial by name, speed dial. All of these things, callbacks, feature codes. You can do T.38 faxing to and from this device. The users can actually log into the web interface and do faxing directly from here. No need to have a third-party service or a third-party device. Everything can be configured here. We've got our parking lot. We've got our emergency numbers. Then all of the different stuff that you've got under PBX settings. You've got general settings. You've got SIP settings, the IAX settings, RTP, music on hold, voice prompt. All these different things that you can configure. And we are going to get to that in some upcoming videos. So we're going to get in and we're going to fine tune these things and I'm going to teach you how to effectively use your PBX. Under System Settings, you've got the HTTP server. And check this out. A vendor who allows us to create a CSR and upload a certificate right from the web interface. And we are going to do that because if it lets us do it and it's easy. We're going to throw an SSL certificate on here and we'll access it via FQDN instead of the IP. We've got our network settings here, OpenVPN. So let's say that you have a central site where you have a VPN server, and then maybe the PBX doesn't sit here. Maybe the PBX sits somewhere else, and then you've got all these phones. All of the Grandstream phones all support OpenVPN, as well as the UCM series of appliances. So you configure the OpenVPN. Everybody connects back to the VPN. You've got a phone at home. You're the CEO, the CIO, the CTO. You want to have a phone on your desk at home that connects directly to the phone system. Just configure the OpenVPN and away you go. It's really that easy. We're going to get into all this and you're going to love it. Dynamic DNS, the security settings that we were talking about. So it's got all of the security things built in, and every time that you get an update from Grandstream, they are going to enhance and strengthen the security. LDAP, you can tie this into a standard LDAP server, Active Directory, all that good stuff. We got our time and our email settings, so that's where we configure email templates and email servers and all that. We've got our maintenance, you've got the user management. So you can see that we've got the different kinds of privileges. You see super administrator and consumer. If you come over to the custom privilege, you can see the three that are created out of the box are super admin, admin, and consumer. And consumer is actually called general user on the left hand side. We've got all the change information. This system tracks every change made to the system, who makes it. Tracks every call, inbound, outbound, even the internal calls. And you can download all that information. That's the CDR information. But you have total visibility into everything that's going on with your phone system. And it doesn't cost you any extra. It's like this out of the box, and it's easy to use. It does it automatically. Nothing we have to configure. Out of the box, it just does it for us. System events, upgrade, backup. So you can see that I did a manual backup on Friday the 13th. We can set a regular backup. There's a data sync option here. We've got the system cleanup and reset. So if you've got the USB SD card, you can do a cleanup on that. We can reboot the system. We can make sure that our certificate is verified. We've got network troubleshooting. So if you are working with a voice over IP vendor such as SIP.us and you're having problems with your calls, you can come in here. You can capture packets. It outputs it to a PCAP file. You can open it with Wireshark or any other file that can parse the PCAP, and you can see what's going on your network. Here's your CDR information. Now, I have a lot of private calls and things like that that are going on, so when we get to the 6204 and bringing it online for the videos, you will get to see the CDR, but right now I have private information from my customers and family in there, so you will not get to see that. If we are recording phone calls, they would show up here. You can download those. And this awesome little box also has an API. So Tim, I know, is cracking his fingers and wanting to get digging into this API and see what we can do with this. I'm sure we're going to be able to do some really awesome things. The value-added features that come with this, and they usually update these also with the firmware version. So if there's something new that people have requested, I'm sure that it shows up under a a firmware upgrade. Here's the zero config. We're going to go through all of this because it is super awesome. You can configure all the settings for all your phones and just plug them in and go. It does integrate with CRM systems, so you can see out of the box it's got Sugar, vTiger, Zoho, and Salesforce, and those are probably the 4 largest CRMs on the market. Not only do you get the CRM integration, you get the property management system integration, so if you've got any of these systems out of the box, it's going to integrate. You got room status, wake up service, minibar, maid, all of that built in. Now, if you want to just slap this in, it will do a wake up service. So you can see that I use this in addition to my my alarm clock to make sure that I'm up at 4:30 in the morning. Here's our fax sending options. We've got an announcement center where we can create pre-canned announcements and do a variety of things and trigger them, all those kinds of good things. So I really hope that you're as excited about Grandstream as I am, because we are going great places with Grandstream. Ever since I did the video on how to do the ringtone, I have quoted at least 12 systems and about 500 handsets waiting for some approvals to come through. So the thing is, it is so easy to deploy that it really, I mean, we're going to probably spend more time talking about how you want the system set up than actually configuring it to do the things that you want to do. And then, of course, we train you. And unless you don't want to mess with it, then you just let us take care of it for you. Or if you've got somebody else that you want to manage it, we can hand that off after the fact. So this is awesome, and we're really going to be getting there. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe. Please comment and share. Please follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Please go over to h5llc.com, get on the newsletter. If you need consulting for anything, make sure you fill out that contact form and somebody will get a hold of you about your needs and we'll take care of you. Our Discord link is down there, as well as the Amazon shop if you want to pick up any of the great gear we feature here on the channel. And as always, I do appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next video.